The following episode of The Kingdom of Isolation contains footage from the film being discussed. The footage is used solely for the purposes of education, commentary, and criticism under fair use. Please support the animators by watching this film on Disney Plus or home media where available. This episode also contains spoilers throughout.
My fellow Disney fans, and welcome to the Kingdom of Isolation, where in times of trouble, why not celebrate the magic of Disney? And today is a very significant day here in the Kingdom of Isolation because it is time to officially start covering the direct-to-video sequels. The first one being The Return of Jafar, which released direct-to-video on May 20th, 1994. And that is for our friends stateside. The UK VHS release, on the other hand, was the 30th of January 1995, which also gave us the debut of the Disney Videos bumper rather than Walt Disney Home Video, which had been used up to 1994. As I mentioned, now it's time to officially cover a direct-to-video sequel. Sadly, due to the box office failure of The Rescuers Down Under, The Return of Jafar was officially released on home video in May of 1994 instead of being released in theatres. This in addition to the fact that the animated theatrical films would take 3 to 5 years to make compared to the direct-to-video films, which only took less than 2 years to make. The Return of Jafar, regarding this film, according to the writers of this film, and there were a lot of writers, this was because the ending of Aladdin made it ambiguous as to whether Aladdin and Jasmine actually married, as well as the time frame between Genie's freedom and the actual wedding. One of the considered titles for The Return of Jafar, which was changed quite late into its development, was Iago's Return. But it was decided that The Return of Jafar was a more catchy title. Now, why they thought it was a catchy title, I'm not sure, but naturally with a title like that, you're gonna have to bring back Jafar. Now, this was originally planned as a TV special, but later, Disney decided to make it a direct-to-video sequel to Aladdin. The TV special consisting of this direct-to-video sequel, we'll get into more of that shortly. Some of the clips from this film were also used in the opening intro of the Aladdin TV series, which this film served as a pilot for, combining the first 5 planned episodes into this one film. After the success of the Little Mermaid TV series, Disney Television Animation subsequently produced an animated TV series of Aladdin that aired on CBS. At the same time, the Disney Afternoon had become a success with television series such as DuckTales, Woo! And Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers, Chip and Dale, airing in a syndicated 2-hour time slot. And before the theatrical release of Aladdin, Disney commissioned Tad Stones and Alan Zaslav to produce an animated series of Aladdin that would shepherd its transition from the movie into a television series. This film also aired twice on BBC One during my childhood: Boxing Day 2000 and New Year's Day 2005. Now, when I said in the previous episode that don't be too surprised if there wasn't going to be much in the way of behind-the-scenes stuff on these films, yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said there wouldn't be as much behind-the-scenes info on these films. That being said, let's head back to Agrabah.
Open sesame, here we go!
A new version of Arabian Nights, which plays over the opening, which would also, now this same version would also be used for the opening of the TV series, which we're still waiting on coming to Disney Plus. The lyrics to the version of Arabian Nights heard in this film were actually lifted from the original demo version of the song. A group of thieves head into a cave to examine the treasure that they have stolen. And the thieves here are led by Abismal, which, yes, is a play on abysmal. And of course, the racial stereotyping is on display here once again, which is what landed Disney in hot water with the original film. The bad guys having exaggerated ugliness, while characters like Aladdin and Jasmine are seen as more attractive. Make of the controversy what you will. But back to Abismal, and he is voiced by Jason Alexander, last seen in The Kingdom of Isolation in Hunchback as Hugo.
This night has been quite rewarding.
We have never stolen so much. We have gathered much loot tonight.
Oh my word, even the voices are exaggerated for the thieves. Granted, it was the 90s, you could get away with this because people growing up at this time actually had a backbone and weren't overly sensitive Karen-shaped snowflakes.
And what is our reward?
Here you go. Good work, boys. Very successful raid.
Greediness at its finest. Unfortunately, you have a leader. Unfortunately, you have a leader named Abismal. You have him voiced by a comedian who, being blunt, wasn't very funny in Hunchback. What do you think that means?
What is holding it up?
Ghosts!
Yes, he's a cowardly idiot! Abu and Aladdin take the treasure back and escape on carpet. In the first film, the pattern design for carpet was very, very detailed. A lot of that thanks to some help from Pixar. Most likely, due to the daunting task of animating something so elaborate, his design was simplified for this and future Aladdin films, including the TV series. Frank Welker and Scott Weininger reprised their roles as our favourite Agrabah duo.
Come back here!
Yeah, cowardly status confirmed. Cowardly idiot status confirmed, I should say. Abu takes the jewel flower, causing Abyss to fall after holding the carpet. Time to address the elephant in the room regarding the music. Minus the songs, the film score is basically recycled from the first film. How did they manage to reuse the score with only a $5 million budget? Less than 20% of the first film's budget of $28 million.
I've got sand in places I didn't even know I had.
Spare me your prattling, Iago. Are we out yet?
Let's think about that for a moment. You're still in the land, but you're no longer buried under the sand. So, yes and no. A lot of the original cast did come back to reprise their roles for this sequel, which is very rare for follow-ups, especially when it's direct-to-video sequels. Because normally you try and get people who sound as close to the original voice actors as possible. Jonathan Freeman back as Jafar, and the late Gilbert Gottfried as Iago once again. Well, time to drink my childhood away. In the German dub for this film, interestingly, Michael Pan replaced Wolfgang Ziffer as the voice for Iago.
You will now release me, so that I may have my revenge.
And even inside the lamp, he sounds intimidating. Case in point.
Do as I say, you worthless pipsqueak!
This is also the point where Iago snaps and he has had enough, leading to the first of 4 songs written for this film.
I'm looking out for me!
And the start of Iago's redemption arc. I like the big band feel for this song. Now, the reason I say 4 and not 5 is because we got a different version of Arabian Nights, just with different lyrics.
Oh, I don't need nobody else!
Well played there, incorporating the Arabian motifs into the music. Very well played. Mark Waters writes the music for this film, as well as for the Aladdin TV series and The King of Thieves. Goof Troop. Yeah! The Little Mermaid TV series, Down in Tasmania, come to Tasmania, come to Tasmania. Another one of my favourite shows growing up. And a couple of the Winnie the Pooh Disney Toon Studios films as well.
I'm looking out for me!
Steal from us again, and your scrawny body will be dinner for the jackal!
Never interrupt a musical number like that ever again, you ungrateful merchant! Aladdin showers the streets with treasure and money, much to Abu's disgust. At least they keep the jewel flower.
Don't worry, Abu. I'm not throwing everything. This is for Jasmine.
Ah, there she is. The girl of his dreams. Linda Larkin reprising her role as, next to Ariel, one of my favorite Disney princesses. What? Guys can like Disney princesses as well. What are you going to do about it? And I'll get to Jasmine's new singing voice shortly. Aladdin makes it back to the palace, only to be greeted with Raja actually being happy to see him for once, much to Abu's relief.
Jasmine.
Where were you? I missed you.
Oh, wholesome is an understatement. This is the sort of relationship I have missed having. Glad I found the girl of my dreams now. Out of respect for privacy, as a side note, I'm keeping it under wraps at the moment. Aladdin gives her the jewel flower, which, honestly, she loves.
It must have cost a fortune.
Oh no, it was a steal.
Oh. Moments like that are why, next to Hercules, you're my favorite Disney prince. Yes, I'm classing Hercules as a prince. What are you going to do about it? Aladdin is invited to dinner with Jasmine insisting it's one he doesn't want to miss, all while Abu is trying to take the jewel flower for himself. Old habits die hard, I guess.
Now, I'm stuck on the outside looking in!
Oh, on the outside looking in? Will I ever be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass, waving through a window wide. Oh, I couldn't resist. The musical theatre kid in me. Iago has a ticket back into power, using Aladdin to get him back into the palace. Aladdin, naturally, isn't too happy about seeing Iago again.
You look familiar.
It's Aladdin!
Where? It is? I knew that.
Mal, you're an absolute idiot with IQ on the same level as the useless Canadian, of which he has 0! Thankfully, the trio escapes the abysmal idiot, thanks to Iago.
And I got more where that came from!
Miss you every day, Gilbert. They go back to the palace for dinner, and...
He's big. He's blue. He's back.
Homer Simpson himself! Dan Castellaneta is the voice of Genie now, reprising his role for the TV series and in Kingdom Hearts. Must have kept himself very busy in between recording sessions for The Simpsons. Now, due to a well-publicized bit of fallout over the use of his voice in the marketing campaign for Aladdin, Robin Williams refused to reprise the role of the Genie and was instead replaced by Dan Castellaneta, also, as mentioned, best known for voicing Homer Simpson. Stones also claimed that Williams participated in selecting Castellaneta to voice the Genie. Okay. I'll trust Robin's input on that one. It was also the first Aladdin full-length production without the original voice of the Sultan, with Douglas Seal being replaced by the late Val Bettin. Okay. Drink up. This is my new drinking game that I somehow decided to start with the DuckTales episode. Top right of your screen if you want to see how bad the drinking game gets. Val Bettin actually reprised his role in this Aladdin series as well as the King of Thieves. Val was also last seen in the Kingdom of Isolation as Professor Porter in Tarzan. Now, the genie lost his cuffs, which are the mark of his imprisonment in Aladdin. In the original film. But he wears them in both sequels and the Aladdin series because he looks better with them on, which defeats the purpose of losing them to begin with. Now, Harry Shearer, blah, was considered to replace Robin Williams for the role of the genie. Of course, Harry Shearer, known for
Seymour!
giving us one of the greatest memes of all time.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
You saw the whole world already?
It's a small world after all.
It's a small world after all.
No, anything but that.
Thank you, Scar. Into the next song of the film, Nothing in the World Quite Like a Friend, which is where we hear Liz Calloway take over from Lea Salonga as Jasmine's singing voice. Liz would also be the singing voice for Kiara in The Lion King 2, which I'll get to soon enough. Jasmine invites Genie to dinner, for which they're already late as it is. Abu can't make it to dinner as he has to guard Iago at the request of Aladdin.
Meanwhile, thousands of miles away.
The abysmal idiot finds Jafar's lamp, releasing him, making Arbis, pronouncing it as Abyss, Arbis, Jafar's master, to grant the 3 wishes.
I am free! Free to exact vengeance upon he who has imprisoned me!
First off, you're only free if Arbis grants you your freedom. Second, that demonic laugh is definitely something that would be terrifying to youngsters. Third, now the music recycling is getting concerning, and we all know how much I hate when Disney recycles. Looking squarely at you, Robin Hood. And finally, Arbis's face would be my reaction as well. And the abysmal idiot manages to waste 2 wishes just like that. The first one is for the treasure of a sunken ship, and the other to be back in the desert, making the first wish altogether a complete waste of time.
That was 2 wishes. Take your time with the third.
Or you will wish you had never been born.
Duly noted. Back at the palace, Genie is cooking up a storm, one of his hands is providing some entertainment, and Sultan makes Aladdin his royal vizier.
Aladdin would like to thank the Academy for this great honor.
Eventually, cat's out of the bag, or bird's out of the cage in this case, as Iago breaks out of said cage, chased by Raja, causing tension between everyone involved.
Just let your conscience be your guide.
Conscience? Never had one. Never.
Yeah, thanks, Krusty. Iago then takes us to the next song of the film, Forget About Love.
You are so right. Forget about that guy.
You're not helping! Eventually, Aladdin and Jasmine reconcile, and the abysmal idiot makes it into the palace grounds. The first half of the movie was animated by Walt Disney Animation Australia, and the second half was animated by Walt Disney Animation Japan. Australia has a more expressive and alive style, while Japan has nicer drawings. You can thank Studio Ghibli for that one. The animation switches when Arbis Mal is climbing on the palace wall, resulting in Aladdin suddenly wearing his street rat clothes instead of his prince clothes. Similarly, Australia animated the first part of the Darkwing Duck pilot while Japan animated the second part.
And when Aladdin becomes Sultan, that will make me the Grand Vizier. Only I'm not gonna blow it like that idiot Jafar!
You might want to be careful with your choice of words, Iago, because it just so happens that Jafar...
Jafar! Buddy?
is right there. One of my biggest issues with the all direct-to-video sequels is the animation feels more choppy, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel as smooth compared to the animated classics.
I got it! I could wish for the famed treasure chest of King Malakan!
Or you can be the idiot you've always been throughout the film and Jafar turns you into that treasure chest instead.
Focus, focus.
Get on with it!
Thanks, Monty Python. Get on with it, Homer! That phase will definitely need fixed.
Pool's a man's game, so being a rug, you'll be at a disadvantage.
Pool's a dumb game anyway.
That's because the real man's game involving billiards is snooker. At time of recording, quarterfinals of the Masters are actually underway right now. Jasmine decides to give Iago a chance and convinces Aladdin to have some quiet time with Sultan.
Aladdin needs some time alone with Father to patch things up.
You know what this means, monkey boy.
More food for us!
Jasmine's face says it all, really. That's actually a really well animated sequence despite the budget.
Spiders!
Now, there's a game I played about all... There's a game I played on my Xbox, which was on Game Pass a while ago, that's all about exterminating spiders, and it's called Kill It With Fire! Kill them all with fire! Turns out those spiders are actually Jafar, leading to the final song of the film, You're Only Second Rate. I mean, look at that. 5 songs, 4 of them written only for the film, and yeah, only just over an hour's runtime. The song allows Jafar to capture Genie and Boo.
Don't worry, Boo. He's a genie, and genies can't kill anyone.
But you'd be surprised what you can live through.
A bit of foreshadowing as to the finale if one is paying attention. Back with Aladdin, and some horsemen capture Sultan.
You traitor!
Traitor is such a strong word!
Hey, look! Aladdin found one of the traitors! 1 down, 2 to go! God, I love the traitors. It's one of my favorite TV shows right now. Aladdin thinks the horsemen won't make it further. Won't make go further that cliff. Yeah, what was it I said in our previous episode? Oh yeah, I've got to pre-through these scripts before I start recording. Aladdin thinks the horsemen won't make it beyond that cliff edge. Until...
Look! They're trapped on the cliff! When they stop, we'll... What? Abysmal knows magic?
That. My thinking, and it ends up being confirmed, yeah, Jafar's behind all that. That's how the horses can fly. That's why they're in all black. Sultan is sucked up by a water vortex. Aladdin tries to save him and follows suit, leading to a pretty infamous continuity error, which is very rare in the field of animation. Yeah, that strong current means Aladdin shouldn't have been able to get back to grab that rock. Sultan is also captured with Abu and Genie.
Hey, that was a nice hat. I could have worn that hat.
We need this for our plan.
And it's time to frame Aladdin for murdering Sultan. Speaking of which, we make it back to the palace where Rasul's name is actually mentioned for the very first time. He's named Rasul. He was named Rasul after Disney artist Rasul Azadani.
Rasul, the Sultan's been...
Seize him!
You are under arrest for the murder of the Sultan.
What? No!
Jasmine brings what's left of the turban to the dungeon, resulting in Aladdin being sentenced to death by beheading. Nice little callback to the original film, by the way. The imposter Jasmine is in fact Jafar, while the real Jasmine is captured as well. Dawn breaks, and it's time for Aladdin's execution.
What are you doing now?
Oh, what does it look like I'm doing? I'm trying to free the chump genie so he can save your chump boyfriend!
Blunt with your choice of words, Iago. Jafar, disguised again as Jasmine, says goodbye before Iago frees Genie, who in turn saves Aladdin.
Thanks for saving me.
Oh, come on, Al. You know I had to. Oh, that no-head look is just not you. For my next trick, bibbidi, bobbidi, boo!
Yeah, Genie, fairy godmother called. She's filing a lawsuit against you for copyright infringement. We also get another continuity error where Sultan's turban is nowhere to be seen. But then the next shot shows him wearing one. And no, Genie didn't create a new one. now they need to work out how to defeat Jafar.
His lamp! You destroy Jafar's lamp. You destroy Jafar.
Sounds easy enough. How one goes about destroying it, though, who knows? Jafar, meanwhile...
You will now wish me free of this wretched lamp!
No! My wish! You got what you wanted, now it's my turn!
That is the only smart thing the abysmal idiot has said all movie.
How do I know that these things won't disappear once I set you free?
You don't free him, you die! Then Jafar snaps after seeing Aladdin is still alive. Time for the final showdown, meaning one thing. Oh, Sephiroth! And yes, I intentionally used the Kenny Omega version, just for our Kenny Omega fans out there. Haha, the best Balta machine, Kenny Omega! Jafar tries to crush Aladdin, only to find it's genie. You thought Jafar snapping earlier was intense? Try this on for size!
Carpet, no!
Now everything gets turned up to 11. Groundbreaking around them. Again, regarding the music being recycled, if you're going to do that, just bring Alan Menken back! Or at the very least, credit him!
Hey, Jafar! Shut up!
Iago comes in and manages to take the lamp and gets wiped out by Jafar in the process. But he still manages to do this. That allows the lamp to be destroyed, killing Jafar in the process. Aladdin and Iago make it out. Everyone thinks Iago's dead. Well, technically, his voice actor is dead now.
Move this man!
Overly sensitive Karens. Thankfully, Iago is okay. And we also get this, which is admittedly a very impressive death. Very impressive death animation. Impressive for a direct-to-video sequel, anyway. And Carpet is okay as well as a side note. And Iago's redemption arc is complete.
I thought a genie couldn't kill him.
You'd be surprised what you can live through.
Aladdin and Jasmine want to see the world, which is going to lead us into the TV series, and eventually the conclusion of the trilogy. We also get a post-credit scene, which was rare back then. Nowadays Marvel make them mainstream. Like every movie needs a post-credit scene. To quote the post-credit scene from Scream 6, not every movie needs a post-credit scene.
Does this mean I don't get my third wish?
Okay, how's this for your third wish? You wish you were in the TV series. There! Wish granted! He does appear in the TV series. Honestly, how stupid you have to be, though, when it comes to wishes. At least the artists and animators of the original film get a shout out for their guidance, inspiration, and support. And this is the only Disney direct-to-video film to have the 1985 Blue Castle Walt Disney Television logo at the end of the film, due to it being originally planned to be released as a television special. And it is also the only direct-to-video film copyrighted to the Walt Disney Company instead of Disney Enterprises Incorporated, since the Walt Disney Studios started changing its name from the Walt Disney Company to Disney Enterprises Incorporated in the copyright notices as of 1996 with Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Overall, I think this is a mixed bag when it comes to the first direct-to-video sequel, and the scores are certainly going to reflect that. The story, I'm going to give a 7. I think this is an okay follow-up, but not something that stands out in terms of how the story follows from the original. especially given the fact that this serves as a pilot to the TV series. The characters, I'm going to give a 6. A lot of this is down to how biblically stupid the abysmal idiot is. Jafar is still just as great a villain as he was in the original, especially with the stakes being raised. Dan is fine as Genie. A lot of it, though, it just feels forced and therefore not as memorable as Robin. What stops it going lower, what stops the score going lower, is the fact that we've got Iago's redemption arc. Visuals, gonna give a 6 as well, and you can tell almost immediately the downgrade in animation quality for the film compared to the original. Continuity errors in places where I've already mentioned, as well as synchronization issues throughout, with lip movement animation not matching the audio from the dialogue. The soundtrack, I'm going to give it 2. I really hate doing this with soundtracks, but if you're going to be lazy with the film score, just credit the person who originally wrote it, aka Alan Menken. The songs are okay as well, but again, nothing special. Just gonna get this out of the way. The Legacy gets a 5 here. 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, and David Nusser of RealFilm.com summed up the film with this. Notable as the first direct-to-video Disney sequel, The Return of Jafar follows Aladdin as he attempts to once again foil Jafar's villainous plot to take over Agrabah. And despite the fact that he was freed from his lamp at the end of the first film, Genie is back and wackier than ever. It's clear right from the outset that Disney put very little effort into the production of The Return of Jafar, particularly in the realm of animation. Sounds a lot like Disney today with their live-action remakes. The film has all the style and fluidity of a Saturday morning cartoon, while various songs are bland and forgettable. The repetitive storyline doesn't do the movie any favors, and even a runtime of 69 minutes, doldrums set in almost immediately. Castellaneta does the best he can with the material, but generally comes up short, particularly when compared to Robin Williams' manic performance from the original. The Return of Jafar is a thoroughly needless sequel that may keep small children engaged, but is bound to come off as nothing less than a huge disappointment for fans of the original. Despite the negative reception, though, 15 million VHS tapes were sold, grossing over $300 million, which is over $600 million in today's money, as of 2025. As well as the TV series, we got the conclusion to the film trilogy with Aladdin and the King of Thieves, a far superior film compared to this, and a triumphant end to the franchise, which would get a crossover episode with Hercules for the Hercules animated series, which we're also waiting on for Disney Plus, damn it! In the episode Hercules and the Arabian Nights, which is legitimately how they introduced each episode. There was also a segment entitled More Than a Peacock Princess from the direct-to-DVD film, A Disney Princess Enchanted Tales Follow Your Dreams. This is going to be very interesting to go through when I do get round to that. Same with the Tinkerbell films, for that matter, considering that both Tinkerbell and Follow Your Dreams, I'm not exactly the target audience. This, however, as a whole, with how successful it was, gave us another 20 years of Disney Toon Studios films. A lot of them straight to home media, some of them good, some of them bad, but we'll be covering them all regardless. So the score overall is 52%, so far below what we got from DuckTales in the last episode. There's a reason the direct-to-video sequels are not as fondly remembered, and we'll get into those in due course. This is an okay start, but it's not something I found myself rewatching. I found myself going back to The King of Thieves more often than not. And if you're an Aladdin fan, which let's face it, a lot of us are, sure, give it a watch. Otherwise, probably best to skip this one. So that's it for this episode of The Kingdom of Isolation. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to be part of The Kingdom of Isolation yourself, you can hit the subscribe button down at the bottom, click the bell, turn on notifications so you don't miss when an episode goes live on this channel. Next episode, we're going to be looking at a Goofy movie for the next episode. But until then, stand out, see eye to eye, make each moment count, and I'll see you guys next time in The Kingdom of Isolation.